Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my latest video. I've been under the weather a bit, or whatever you call this. A lot of people are getting this funky cold thing, and wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do a video, but fortunately today my throat is better, even though I've been coughing and things, and so if I cough and stuff like that, please please forgive me and all that. So I'm going to do my best to get through this, and I have a warm beverage right here as well. So without any further ado, let's just go here. I am the Exalted Lamb with the number 1 on YouTube, and I am Exalted Lamb 1 on YouTube. On Telegram without the. And my motto has always been having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them. Ephesians 5:11. And we get right into this. Again, I'm going to talk about predictive programming, and that's what I do. I show what's coming. Ultimately, the end of the United States, the beginning of the new world system, the new world. Well, I'll just say it that I'll say the Antichrist and all that stuff. Anyway, predictive programming, this is my definition, is a subtle form of psychological conditioning woven into the fabric of all mass media, designed to subconsciously program and or consciously acquaint the public with pre-planned societal changes, ideas, or events. These changes, ideas, or events eventually become reality, largely because the public over time has already become programmed and or familiarized with them, accepting them as natural progressions, thus eliminating virtually all possible public resistance, commotion, or investigation. And their ways of hiding this predictive programming, of course, are in gematria, like I do quite a bit, and I'm going on about 7.5 years I've been doing this on YouTube, and I'm lucky to get 3,000 views now. I used to get, in the first few years, I used to get 80, 90, 100,000. I've gotten videos, 130,000 views, stuff like that. Now I'm lucky to get 3,000. YouTube is really, shadow banning me all kinds of ways, turning off notifications and things like that. But they hide this through banning me and through opposites. Okay, opposites, dark and light, opposites, reflections, and all that stuff. Backwards, upside down and backwards, all that stuff. Any way you can hide different methods, and I share those in my videos, and I'm going to share some of the same things and some other things, how they hide things in this video. So, and one of those things is the rule of Kal-El in Freemasonry. The Kabbalistic rule of Kal-El states that one digit can be added to or subtracted from the gematria value of a word without affecting its value. This seems to modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists or Kabbalists explain the rule by pointing out for them, one is not a number. The monad symbolizes the divinity and could come and go as he please, adding nothing and taking nothing away. Or as Shakespeare refers to this concept in his sonnets when he writes, among a number one is reckoned none. And you can read the rest of this down here and and how this is in a few different books that confirm this idea of the rule of Kal-El. And there's other things out there. And I found it to be 100% completely true. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of that in my video here. Of course, that's why I'm mentioning it. So I believe that a version of the timeline started when Trump, basically on Truth Social, announced that we were the United States, where I'm at in the United States. I'm in northern Colorado. I didn't, but he attacked Iran. And that was on he posted it here, my time, which is mountain time. And I'm going to show you why mountain time is important in iPad Go and why it's important. Because it's right in the midpoint of the United States. On the other side, on the left side, if you look at a map, you have mountain time on the left side is Pacific time. And the other time really is Hawaii time from the Pacific over. And then mountain is in the middle. And then you have 2 time zones on the other side. And that is Central and Eastern. So we're right in the middle. And so iPad Go shows that, and I'm going to show you why he said this when he did on 228, which is 210. 2 plus 8 is 10. And I've been told this years ago. I've talked about this in so many videos, I can't even see straight how many times I've said ISIS is born on 210, what Jesus told me. 216 is 219, and it's a code for 210. Ultimately, it would be something that would begin on 210. And this is, I'm saying this is going to be on the Julian. So when you add 13 days to this, so this started something he was marking out. This is an anchor, I believe, to the Julian. And then 13 days later, there's the difference between the Julian calendar and the Gregorian will be March 13th. And then the pre-day. And he did this at 12:30, which was just a little bit after midnight, and that's what I've been sharing for a long time, that it would be right in the middle of both days. So on Mountain Time, 12:30, then you'd have going to the left. If you're looking at a map of the United States, going to the left would be Pacific, and that's 1 hour less. So you'd be looking at 11:30, and that's in 227, February 27th. And you go all the way to Hawaii; it's a couple more hours earlier. And then same thing. And if you go from Mountain and then forward, you're going to Central being 1:30, and then Eastern being 2:30. And there's all reasons for these numbers as well. They have all the reasons for these and exactly why. And I'm going to show you why 12:30 is important here. Okay, just boom. I'll just get this out of the way. I don't know why. Okay, so again, on the timeline, here's showing some of the timeline here. I'm going to show the whole timeline in just a second. But you see here the 227 and 228, February 27th, February 28th. Okay, and then the balance on the other side, 13 days later. Well, it's the same exact day, but it's just the two different calendars. So when this was happening, it was on the Gregorian, but he was marking out that this is really the Julian. So we're going to have some events that happen on this day and this day, the pre-day. The pre-day is because 2 plus 7 is 9, and then the first day is a 1 because 2 plus 8 is 10. Take away the 0, you have 1. And then this is complicated for getting into why this is 2, because March is the first month on the Roman calendar. So March being the first month of the Roman calendar, 1-1 is 2. March being the first month of the Roman calendar, 1-2 is 3. And that's how they hit it. I've suspected that last year, and I shared some stuff last year when I didn't put up a video about it. But I suspected that was happening because this is still a possible first day. And now I'm pretty sure this is what this is. And I have so much. In fact, the stuff I'm going to share with you is just a small fraction of what I have. And I've shared this many times, but literally, I have so much, and I had to hold myself back because I had to finish this. I'm doing this at like a little after 11 p.m. tonight of March 10th because I had to get this out before March 12th and have some people see it, so they're warned. And the thing should start happening. That might happen on the 12th and even the 13th on the 13th. Okay, by the 13th, and definitely by the third and fourth day. Now, again, these are my best guesses on what's going to happen based on thousands of bits of predictive programming. iPad Goat. If you don't know what that is, look up iPad Goat 2. It's an animated movie that basically is a blueprint for what the elites and demons, working behind the scenes in them, want for the United States and the birth of the Antichrist with a new world system, with a new world dictator, new world religion, all this stuff. And it's in all these different things in media, mass media, TV, movies, music videos, even commercials. I mean, everything out there in mass media that can program people has all these things in it, pushing people towards, predictably programming them towards this timeline. This timeline is shown as Lily in iPad Go drops the apple and it rolls. Each time it rolls, it's a day. And then it's a 14-day process that eventually ends up with the apple splitting in two and then forming a water lily. And then that's mirrored in the sky with what happened when Jupiter exited Virgo and the Revelation, then eventually made the Revelation 12 sign. Jupiter exited Virgo on 9/9/2017. It was inside Jupiter. Wow, Jupiter was inside Virgo for roughly 9 months. It was 9 prophetic months, 9 30-day periods plus 23 days. And then it exited between the legs of this Virgo constellation. Exactly between the legs. It was in there about 9 months. It's all, if you don't know anything about that, this is all in the Revelation 12 in the Bible. And that happened back in 2017 in basically September 9th, and then 14 days later was the sign on September 23rd. And then that's also shown in iPad Goat, with Lily being the virgin, and then her dropping the apple is Jupiter exiting Virgo, and then 14 days later. So that's all shown. And so the timeline is extremely valid. It's been substantiated so many hundreds of times when I've shown that possible other timelines. And then ultimately we're going to get to one timeline that's going to be it. And I think this might be it, but we'll see. I have the most I've ever had. The Lord's been downloading to me last few days, like all day, every day for 2 to 3 days. And it's just crazy, okay, what I've got now. And that's not completely normal. I mean, he does give me stuff a lot, but the last few days has been off the charts. And so I threw this together as quick as I could, as fast as I could. So anyway, so on that day of the red here, depending what time zone you're in, you were in the United States, USA attacks Iran, and that's showing this time and these times and these times. Now watch. Boom. Anything you add 9 to stays the same. And then 4 is hiding 2 plus 2, and then 8. And that's that day. And right here you have 3. Again, all this stuff's hiding, and the forward and reverse gemachas work together. Sometimes they even borrow from each other. And then you have a 3 right there, and then 12 right there, 12. So that's the pre-day on the Gregorian and the first day on the Julian. Let's keep going. Even in March. Now, when I realized this, the Lord kind of led me to this yesterday, and I was like, oh my goodness, I could not believe that I didn't see this the whole time. But there's a lot of things you don't see until you see it, especially if you know the Lord and He shows you the stuff. But in gematria, English gematria, M equals 13, A equals 1, R equals 18, C is the third letter, H is the 8th letter. And in reverse gematria, M is the 14th, A is the 26th, just like it would be Z and going backwards. R is the 9th, C is the 24th, H is the 19th. Okay, now look at this. Now I'm going to color code these. Now watch this. Watch how this shows both calendars, the beginning of both calendars. Watch this. Boom, 1. We're going to bring this 1 down. And then we're going to bring the 3 down. And I'm going to tell you it's 1 from 3, but you're going to see why. Okay, now watch. Boom. 1 and 3 is 13. And then 18 plus 8 is 26. And that's a coincidence. You have 313 being the first day on the Julian, on the Gregorian, I'm saying, that's coming up here in a couple days. And then 1 from, it's just like Roman numerals. And again, this is all Roman. We're talking about Roman calendar versus the Gregorian calendar. We're talking Julian, which came from a Roman Catholic, came from Roman Catholicism. Okay, that was during Pope Gregory's tenure as a pope, and that's how the Gregorian came. This is all Roman. So then, of course, you have Roman ideas, Roman, mathematics and things. So 1 from 3, 13, 26 is 3, 12, 20, 26, or 26. And then look up here, watch this. So again, this is on the Gregorian, both days, the pre-day and the first day. We have 2. And then we have 1 and 1 is 2. And then 4 and 4 is 8. And then anything you add 9 to stays the same. For example, if you had 9 plus 2 is 11, and then 1 plus 1 is 2, so you go right back to 2. So anything you add 9 to stays the same eventually. Once you compress the numbers, and that's how it works. So we can get rid of any 9. So we get rid of this 9 and this 9. And what do we have left? We have a 26, because A in reverse gematria is 26, so we have a 26 left. That's it. Oh, look, February 28th, like I said, 13 days later is March 13th. And then they also show the pre-day when you have 1 in front of that. But also, you can have this 1 can move up here and be 1 from 2 to 8, because it's all part of this, and they can share. And also with the rule of Kalel, like I said, you can take 1 off anything, or you can add 1. Okay, so that works as well. So hopefully that makes sense. So we have both sets of days being the first pre-day, pre, and first. Okay, and this is all over the place. Here's a scene in iPad Goat that shows the end of the United States symbolically, with the flag being ripped kind of in half, and then a piece of the flag flying off here. And then there's a time right here of midnight on a clock tower and different stuff going on. And over the years, I've been able to figure out a lot of different things, and I can't share all of it, but I'm going to share some of these things and some of my recent discoveries that match this 100% in so many ways. In fact, I have, like I said, I probably have another 50 or some more than what I'm even showing you on each subject, because I went through all my past stuff, and it's mountains and mountains of data I have. I have thousands and thousands of things on each subject. Literally. So USA, I'm going to bring this back over here. USA attacks Iran and these numbers. Now watch this. What's that? That is right there, that is a piece of American flag. Okay, piece of American flag is 894. Again, get rid of the 9, boom, and then that's 4 is 2 plus 2 and 8, and then that's 2 plus 1 is 3, and 8 plus 4 is 12. Again, a different way of doing it, but they're still hiding the first day on the Julian and the pre-day on the Gregorian. And they mix these up. Sometimes they show both days, but in 2 different ways. Sometimes they show the same day in 2 different ways. They mix it up quite a bit, so people can't figure out what the heck's going on. And most people have no idea that there's even a timeline with different events. So they see all these numbers and symbols and things, and they just reckon it to one thing or a couple different things. And you can't. You have to know. You have to get from some kind of source like Jesus, or from some other source that's not good, or understand a number of different things and have some foundations, or I like to call them anchors, of truth, so you can build from those. But a lot of people don't have those, and they make assertions based on a few things, and you can't do that. You cannot make assertions on a few different pieces of information or evidence and then build your whole mountain on top of that. You can't. Most YouTube people do that. You can't. I don't do that. And I've shown, if you followed me for a while, you've seen that I've literally predicted things that have come to pass. In fact, what I just showed you with Trump there, I predicted that days in advance that would happen. I showed stuff on Telegram. If you don't know that, there's a link in the description box below to go to Telegram. You can look at all of my past posts, and I show how I predicted we would go to war on that day, exactly that day, 228 or 22 and 227 or 2, which is 210. But I said specifically 228. Even I referenced one thing was a clip from Starship Troopers where they all of a sudden they're running and the main character's like, "What's going on?" And he goes, "War, we're going to war." And then that phrase was exactly 227, 228, and things like that. So anyway, let's go. So also, piece of American flag flying away, because it's flying away. Oh, look at that. 27th of February backwards, so 227. And look, 3, 6 plus 6 is 12. See? It just keeps, this is all over the place. More than I'm going to even show you. See these 2 pre-days right here. Okay, again, it's in everything. That's why all these things, for example, iPads Go, it's just like, what is that? What is this? Why is this in here? Why is this? Why is there this? Why is there this? Why, who can make sense, heads or tails of this stuff? Because these are puzzles, and they're time puzzles. They're symbolic, multi-reference puzzles with multi-layers, multi-timelines on top of each other. I mean, it's kind of like I like to say it's the devil's version of the book of Revelation in a visual form. And so, anyway, let's keep going. So you see this crescent moon, it's in a mountain, and then there's a clock tower. Now, this crescent moon just happens to be, and again, I'm the only one that I know of, I've ever seen on YouTube that does first letter code. Crescent moon is crescent, C, moon, M. CM is C is 3, and M is 13. Oh, look, 313. Remember, we were just talking about 312 and 313, the first days. 313, crescent moon. And that shape, it's a little distorted. It should probably go, because the moon isn't quite like that, but if you were to kind of follow this down, it's about that shape. And this is the moon lunation based on between these 2 days of 312 and 313. That's what is captured right there. Okay, so watch this. And to confirm that even more, this clock tower is in the crescent moon, that's showing basically 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock, okay? And then, like I've shared many times, and I'm going to share a little bit more later in the video, that 0 is hiding O. Okay, or it's just 0. You could just count it as 0, or it's hiding O. And O is the 15th letter of the alphabet, or 1 plus 5 is 6. Okay. Just had to get just my back here. Back's a little funky because I didn't sleep that great. And it's just kind of twinging and such, which is always very fun. I go through so much with this. This is crazy, man. All right, anyway, so 6 and 6, so that's 12, 12, 6, 6, for example, or 12, 12. And that's also confirmed by that this is the big hen and the little hen are both on 12. And so that's another reason why it should be 12, 12. And 12, 12 is also, you can do it backwards or forward, doesn't matter, but 12 comes down, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. Again, 12th of March, or March 12th, backwards. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm just showing you this, for example, this way. So it just happens to be that this moon is in this phase, this crescent moon, and this is CM for crescent moon is 313, and this is in the shape of this on 12th of March this month, and that's a coincidence? I think not. Okay, also in iPad Go, you have several LCs hidden in all kinds of places, but this is the more obvious place when the apple's rolling, and it's rolling past the 7th and the 8th day. You see upside down from Obama's viewpoint, looking this way. It's a 7, and it's a backward C, but here it's a forward C, and it's a 7 upside down. So then you know a 7 can be upside down L anytime. But that's an LC, and that's 12-3 or 12th of March. And I'm just telling you, the LCs are all over the place in iPad Go, hidden in all kinds of ways. So we have, again, the first day on the Julian, 228, and then what is this really? This is Mountain Time, like I said, 12:30, but it's also, look, 12th of March. A 0 could be a 0, and you get rid of it. 12th of March. So again, you have the pre-day on the Gregorian, shown right here. Pre-day, look, 12th of March. And it's mountain time. I just told you about mountain time. See, mountain time, and it's 12 of March, 12/3. See, mountain time, 12/3. And this was the time here, 12/3, 12:30. Because he's there secretly, he's all part of it. Okay, of course. Both sides are all working against the middle. Both sides are all a lie to keep people in check, in control, under their control, to push everybody through till they have one world government, one world religion, one world evil dictator, Barack insane Obama. Okay, keep going here. And I have over 1,000 solid evidences that he is that, and the Pope that died recently, Francis, he's going to come back to life. And you'll see. And I'm sure some of that stuff here too. But there's the first day and the pre-day right here. First day, pre-day. First day, Julian, pre-day in the Gregorian. Okay, let's keep going. And then, so this is a mountain, and we have mountain time. See, mountain, this is in a mountain. It's in a mountain time. So mountain just happens to be 10/7 or 107. Yeah, 107. Yeah, 107, I usually say. But I say 107 because it can be an O also. But in this case, we just say 107 because you go backwards, it's 71. See, remember I showed you in the beginning, the upside down, backwards, opposites. So this is backwards, 71. What's 71? The 71st day of the year is the 12th of March. Every single year except for a leap year. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter about the leap year right now. So, and then look at this, 10/7 or 70. Get rid of the 0 and 71. See, 70. You forget about the 0 because it's October 7. 7 and then 01 for October. 71. That's when Hamas supposedly invaded Israel, because it's all the numerology. Because they're secretly telling you about what's coming in this timeline in just a couple days on October 12th and 13th. Well, yeah, it's still a couple days for me. And then watch this. 2 and 2 is 4 and 3 is 3. Like I said, the 43rd president as well. That's Bush. He's an iPad goat. And the 44th president is right after that. They morph into each other. But it's because they're showing these days. So 4 is hiding what? 1 plus 3 and then 3. So again, 13th. And so that's 13th. Get rid of the plus. 13th of March is the first day. And the pre-day is March 12th, the 71st day of the year. So again, both days are shown, but in different ways that it's very hard for people to see. I see some of these things, but sometimes in the past I don't know what it I didn't know what it meant, or I'm trying to figure it out, or I think I know what it means, and I go, whatever. Now I've got an understanding now that's getting more and more insane and crazy with the Lord and the mind of Christ. That is, it's massive, and then it just happens to match. Hamas invades Israel, and that was the day they invaded, and so 3/13 is the 72nd day of the year. And then remember, 0 can be O, so that is O, and then that could be 15 or 6. So 6 and 6 is 12. So that's 3/12. March 12th is the 71st day of the year. March 12th, the 71st day of the year, and March 13th, the 72nd day of the year. See how these relate? It's crazy. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Yeah, 3/12. Okay, bam. And then even more than that, from that date that Hamas invaded Israel to the actual date this is hiding, which is March 12th, when the beginning of the end happens to push everybody towards the tribulation time. I had to drink some of my lovely beverage. Excuse me for my throat. Look at that, 888 days, and that's a coinky dink. Not at all. In fact, 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. What's 24 hiding? Well, 24 is hiding this. 2 and then 1 plus 3, or boom, look backwards, 3/12 backwards. See, 3/12. Little did you know, I knew, but 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. 24 is hiding 3/12 backwards. Again, 3/12. See, they do it so many different ways. I could show you even more, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep going. Again, mountain. Again, 71. The 71st day of the year is March. It's all over the place. Now watch this. Again, this is American flagged ripped apart. And what's that? 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 8 plus 4 is 12. Or 3. Either way, 3/12, 3/12. And then 2, 4 plus 4 is 8, 28th of 2 February. See, again, pre-day, first day. Mountain time or mountain time. Mountain time. Oh, look, it's 71 for the 71st day of the year, or 70 and 1. If you go backwards, say 70 and then 1, or 71, or exactly backwards, 71. And these are all coincidences? I think not. And then, see, March 12th is the 71st day of the year. See, with 294 days left over. And even 294 is 2, 9 plus 4 is 13, 213, which is 2, or backwards, 312. 312, see, it's all over the place. And then Mountain Daylight Time is what we just changed to a couple days ago, and that is 300. And 300 is, remember, O can be 15 or 6, so 366 is 312. Mountain Daylight Time. Okay, let's keep going. And 300, it's in movies and TV and all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's a movie called 300 because it's hiding 366 or 312. And look, that was done in 2006, or 31226 this year, 31226. Again, this is the zeros you get rid of, and they're not O's. Or there's another way of doing it. You have 26, and then you have 6 and 6 is 12. That's 226, and then the 1 that's part of the 12 is added here. So you have 312 plus 1, 2026. Oh, does that make sense? I hope it does. See, you can do either way. Both ways are both days. Both ways are both days. And then from the same director, from the visionary director of 300, this movie that has 300 in it in all kinds of ways, including the director. But watch. So 300, again, is 300 is 30, or 00, which is 66, or 312. And who's the visionary director of both movies? 300 and Watchmen and any other movies like, Justice League and things like that. Oh, Zack Snyder. And Zack Snyder, exactly in English ordinal, equals 12th of March. And that's a coincidence too? No, I think not. Also, March 12th is on the Gregorian. But what is 3, 1 plus 2, or 3, 3? The Freemasons' favorite number, like 33rd degree Mason and all kinds of stuff. 3, 3 is 3, 3 on the Julian. 3, 3 is on the Julian when Zelensky is going to die. And Zelensky is Ukrainian for green. And this character called the comedian, who is a superhero that fakes like he's good, but he's really a jerk. He's really evil. In fact, in the beginning of the movie, he gets killed, and I'm going to show you that in a second here. Okay, and watch this. See the blue here? In fact, this is Manhattan. This is Dr. Manhattan, and a nuke goes off in this, just like it's going to go off in Manhattan, particularly programming you that there's going to be a nuke goes off in Manhattan, and there's Dr. Manhattan, who's blue. Anyway, there's so much in this I can't even get into because I've gotten into previous movies, about previous movies and this movie and other videos. Okay, so watch. Blue, yellow, blue and yellow, the Ukrainian flag, blue and yellow, and together they, right in the middle, why are these characters greenish? Because blue and yellow are hiding green, which means go. Go for the timeline. Go for the horrible things that are going to happen. And Zelensky literally means green. So Zelensky is the president who was a comedian before. He played the president of Ukraine before he became the president of Ukraine. It's kind of like Reagan. Reagan, well, I don't think he played a president, but he played leaders and things like that before he was a leader of the so-called free world, which doesn't actually exist. But whatever. Okay, so these are all actors, and these politicians are all actors, and they just are, and they're just admitting when an actor becomes the president or something. They're admitting that that everybody's an actor, and that's what Shakespeare said. All the world's a stage, and we're all actors and everything. So anyway, not a direct quote, but close. Anyway, I'm a little tired, so I don't have all the exact quotes in my brain right now. So anyway, moving on. So the comedian who is Zelensky is going to get killed in the beginning of the movie because he's going to get killed in the beginning of the timeline on the third day. Now watch. Boom. Here we go. So in the beginning of this movie, you have this foot kicking open door. See, foot kicking open door. So the bad guy comes in, and before I do that, door kicked open. It also works for door kicked in or different versions of this idea of kicking this door in or kicking this door open, door kicked open. So look, 71st day of the year. Now watch this. Now this is 23rd of March, which is the birth of the Antichrist on my timeline. The Stinky BO, the 44th president, he'll come back, he'll die and then come back to life on the 23rd of March. But it's also the birth on the timeline because 2 is hiding 1 plus 1. You just decompress what they call, the elites call decompressing and compressing numbers. You decompress, they're hiding, decompressing 2 into 1 and 1. So you have 1 from 13th of March is 12th of March, the 71st day. Then over here is 13 plus 9 is 22, and that's 8. See? So we have 13th of March, or 1 from 13th of March, and then February 28th again. So 13th of March and 1 from 13th of March, the 71st day of the year, and then on the Julian, 13th of March, 13 days earlier is February 28th. And it's all right there. It's in, again, several ways you can say to kick open this door. It is. Door kicked in, all kinds of stuff. Okay, and I'm just showing you one example. Also, we have the birth of the Antichrist in these numbers as well because, again, anything you add 9 to is the same, so we get rid of this 9. And then 1 from 3 is 2, and then we have an 8. So backwards, the 82nd day of the year just happens to be the 23rd of March. Or, again, backwards would be March 23rd. 82nd day of the year is March 23rd, the birth of the Antichrist, and the man-child, the faithful, which I am a member, into heaven, the faithful. And then the balance of the bride that aren't quite as close to Jesus that will leave at the very last day, which is the March 26th and 27th. If you want to see some documents I have about multiple raptures, about the innocent children being taken on the 4th and 5th day, and things like that, and the 144,000. The links are in the description box below, the title in the description box, and you can get downloadable documents that have scripture verses to show, because most of churchianity doesn't know this stuff about what's really going to happen. They don't know the Bible that well, unfortunately. I've been studying it for almost 35 years now, and I've been a biblical researcher for that long. And then the Lord's called me about in the last 7.5 years on YouTube. But about 11 years ago, He started giving me dreams and visions about how the United States is a mystery of Babylon, and how the Antichrist is Barack Obama, and him and one of the popes, of which I saw eventually would be Pope Francis, he's going to be the false prophet, and he's going to come back to life. They're both going to, Pope has already died, but Obama's going to die, then they're both going to come back to life and be produced to the world as the saviors with these aliens that are going to show up. They're going to be the mediators between the gods and man. Like Jesus is the mediator between God and man. The aliens are going to be the mediators between, or the Obama and his false prophet are going to be the mediators between the gods and man. Okay, again, a little twist on that. Okay, and then so the door gets kicked down, and the bad guy that shows up was a good guy, but he plays a good guy. He's a billionaire that plays a good guy, but is really a bad guy. So he's the Trumple character. He's the Trumple character, and he's come to kill this guy. And so it's symbolic how Trumple is going to be responsible, in a sense, for helping get Zelensky killed. And this is the comedian. He's about to get killed. And Zelensky's a comedian. And he's still a little bit green. You can see how he's a little bit green here. He's green, really very dark greenish kind of thing. Anyway, reinforcing the fact that he's green, which is green, Zelensky means green. And then there's yellow. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to get all that right now. Okay, so, and we got blue here and yellow, and in between the bluish and the yellowish is green. See that? There's so much. There's so much I could share that it would take so much time to explain everything all the time. So I just kind of try to move through this. So he's the comedian, and the comedian is 5 plus 8 is 13, and 2 or 3 in the middle of 12, 3, 12. And oh, look, 12 midnight or 12 o'clock. Remember on the clock tower, which is 3, 6 plus 6 is 12, 3, 6, 6, or 3, 12. Again, 3, 12 again, or midnight. See, remember 12 o'clock? And then he says, as soon as the door gets kicked open by the bad guy who's really, to the world, looks like he's a good guy, he's a billionaire, and he was supposed to be like the leader, I think, of the Watchmen here, this group of superheroes. And he's really a bad guy too, but he played a good guy as a superhero, but he's really a horrible guy. And he's at the end of his life, and he's regretting things he did and all these murders, things he did, and horrible things he did in his life. And here he could come to pay the piper, and so he knows he's going to get. He's pretty much expecting getting killed because he deserves it. He says right there, as soon as the door's kicked open and sees the guy, just a matter of time, I suppose, before he's killed. And he knew that. And look, 3 plus 9 is 12. See, 312. It just keeps going and keep going. I can show you a million of these in this movie, and at every turn. And then, but he decides to fight back, and he throws this coffee mug or coffee cup, however you want to say it. And at this, and you see here, it's 3001. He's on the 30th floor, and he's in apartment 3001. But the mug strikes the one right here and shatters, and there's the one flying off as it shatters the mug or the cup, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. So right here, you see the numbers, okay? And it's a coffee, again, first letter code, for example, I could show you all the numbers with the full names, but here and there, I break out first and last letter code, or first letter code. I do last letter code too, but I'm not going to on this video too much. I've done it a lot in the past. So coffee cup or coffee bug, CC for coffee cup, which is 33, like 33rd degree Mason, like there's so many CCs out there, it's crazy. They love 33. And 33 is hiding, of course, 3, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. Or coffee mug is CM. Again, 313, 312 and 313. Huh, imagine that. And then 3001 is what this is, 3001. Oh, look, 12 o'clock or 1266, which is 1 plus 2 is 312. Again and again and again and again and again. Oh, look, flying coffee cup is 15th of March. Why is that important? That's when Zelensky is actually killed. So he's fighting for his life right here. This is showing secretly how he's going to get killed on the 15th of March. That is the third day. So the 13th is the first day, the 14th is the second day, and the 15th is the third day. I've said this for years, by the way. If you don't know my videos, or if you do, you know I've been saying that Zelensky would be killed on the timeline on the third day. And so then 316 he'd be reported dead on 316. Okay, and also again, 312 is 3, 1 plus 2 is 3. So he's going to die on 315 on the the Gregorian, and he's going to be reported dead on 3-3 on the Julian. Add 13 days of that, and that's 316. So you basically have he's going to die on 3-2 and be reported dead on 3-3 on the Julian, or what most people care about is the Gregorian in the world that are on the Gregorian calendar. He'll actually die in 315, but most people find out about it on the news and everything, 316. Third and fourth day. And this is the first attack days here of the United States, and it's going to really kick in. We have some stuff happen right in here by the first day. You're going to hear about this day and maybe some of this day, but the big stuff's going to happen on the first attack days, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, bam. Same thing with talking about 3, 3, and 4. Someone else is going to get killed, and I'm saying it looks like minimum Baron, maximum Melania and Baron, and it shows a scene where a woman in a burqa is holding a dead boy, and he's in her lap right there, and this dead boy is a few things. It's Trump and Obama. There's all kinds of stuff I could share about that. He has an NY on him, which is New York, about Trump getting killed in New York, but he also has a face very similar to Baron, and there's a lot of things that are in this, and I can get into, but I'm not going to get into a lot of it. There's an upside down A, there's V's, VV, oh, there's so much stuff. That's VV, that's 40, V is 2222, upside down A, 45, 45th president. It's also 40, it's 44 plus 145. It's both presidents being killed, the 44 and 45th. Anyway, there's so much in here. Let's keep going here. So we have a scarab beetle. Scarab beetle is, look, March 1, 2, or 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3, 3. Again, on the Julian, you have 13 days to that. He's going to be reported dead on 316. You have 13 days to that. 316. Okay, and that's in scarab beetle. And then watch this. And then, okay, then also, because LC is showing right here, and I'll show you in a second. LC is 12-3, and again, 1 plus 2 is 3 and 3. So ultimately, LC is 12-3 or 3-3. And then we have L and C right here. LC. LC, backwards C, just like similar to when the Apple's, buy the Apple. And there's several LCs in iPad Go. There's one on Obama's chest next to Lily. There's a bunch of, so that's LC. Ultimately, that's 33 and 312 the pre-day. Or 3-3 on the Julian at 30 days, and that's 316 on the Gregorian when he's reported dead, and possibly Melania too. Okay, now watch this. In his eyes, even showing letters and numbers. This eye, again, head wound. That's another reason why he's Obama, because it's a head wound. He's Obama as well, being 44. V and V is 4, and then upside down 8, you add 1, that's 45. There's all kinds of these all over, but I'm not getting into those right now. But this I wound, you flip it up this way, and it's U1D. U1D, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to get into all that right now either. 21, 1, and 4. 21 is U, and 1 and 4. So you got 21, 1 from 4 is 3. So you have 21, 3, or backwards, 312, or the day he's actually killed, 3-3 on the Julian, add 13 days. Well, reported dead, I should say. 3-3 on the Julian, add 13 days to get to the Gregorian, it's 316. Bam. Okay, so 3-3 on the Julian, 315 on the Gregorian is when he's actually killed and reported on 3-3. At 13 days, you got 316 is when he's reported dead. And I'm going to say that most likely Melania too, because I put a lot of their numerologies together and their names and their birthdays and I mean all kinds of stuff, and they add to these numbers, the third and fourth day, in all kinds of ways. And so many other things. It's off the charts. So back to this 300. So 300 again is 3, and then these could be zeros like 300, or they could be hiding O's, which is 66, so that's 12. And remember that 1's flying off, so that adds a 1 or takes 1 away. But if you go backwards, it was 301, 312 plus 1, which is 313, and then you take 1 away, and that's 312. So we're going backwards in a sense. And then also that flying mug, or flying cup, I'm going to say it this way. You can say flying mug, but flying coffee cup shatters. Because you know it's a coffee cup because he starts pouring it out when he's going to throw it, and it was a coffee cup. It could be a different kind of cup, but it was a coffee cup. Flying coffee cup shatters, and also coffee cup is the numbers as well. All kinds of stuff. So flying coffee cup shatters. 3, 5 plus 8 is 13. See how this works? It's all over the place. And then he's getting his butt kicked. He's almost done. This guy's being He's the guy who appears to the world that he's good. He's a billionaire, but he's really bad. That's the Trump character who's really bad, but people think he's good. They're all bad, okay? If you think that anybody on the left or the Democrats are good, they're all bad. If anybody think the Republican on the right or the conservatives are good, they're all bad. If they're in front of millions of people, they're bad. The enemy controls all the gates, has all the keys. And we're, the people that believe and have the truth, we're the massive minority, and the people that are in the control are they control the majority with their programming and all their lies and all their, fear and all that stuff. Okay, so first thing he says, he's getting beat up and he's about to get his butt kicked and killed, and he says, "It's a joke. It's all a joke," and he just laughs. Okay, so what is this? Watch. 1 from 28 is 27, and that's 27 backwards is 72. 72nd day of the year is 313. And backwards, again, it's backwards. 1 from 28 is 27, that's backwards 72. 72nd day of the year is 313, and backwards this is 312. 312 the pre-day, and the 72nd, that's 27, and 1 from 28 is 27, or 72nd day of the year is 313. Again, it's hidden in all kinds of ways. 312, 313, the 72nd day of the year. And then you look at his button. It says it's a happy face button is what it is. 1 from, to prove that even more here, because 1 from 28 is 27, that's backwards 72. 1 from 73 is 72, 312, or 313. And look, 3, 1 plus 9 plus 2 is 12. Or anything you add 9 to stays the same. So if you have 3, and then 1 plus 9 plus 2 is 12, or just get rid of the 9 and you just have 1 and 2 is 12. 3, 12, or 3, 1 plus 9 plus 2 is 12. It doesn't matter. In this sense, you can get rid of the 9, or use it together, whatever. But hope you get my point. And then he's thrown out the window. Now, the reason why he's thrown out the window is because there's more predictive programming. Being thrown out the window is also the numbers. I'm going to get into all that. But I wanted to hit this thing, full moon. This is massive. This is what a lot of people don't realize, some of the stuff that's going, most of the stuff, all the stuff, really, most of the stuff most people don't realize is in front of their face, being told to them, being sung to them all the time, 24/7, whenever you're tapped into the media at all. You're being programmed for every second. You're listening and watching. You are. That's it. If you don't know that, you got to wake up. Wake up. Watch this. Full moon is March 6th on the Julian. You had 13 days. You have when Trumple is killed. And Trumple character is the one that throws him out because as a result of him, Zelensky getting killed, is going to result in his death and what he did also before that too. But 3-6 is also hiding 3. 1 plus 5 is 6. And that's when Zelensky is killed. That's why it's showing this at the beginning. So full moon is a symbol of the numerology for 315 when he's killed. The green comedian, Zelensky means green, comedian, the comedian, he was a comedian. He was in funny movies and shows before he became the president, and he played the president before he was the president of Ukraine. It's crazy. And then the Trump would be killed on 3-6 on the Julian, add 13 days, and that's 319. We killed on 319 in Manhattan. That's why this is showing Manhattan. This is showing Manhattan. Look at the building right here. Okay, so full moon. Also, a lot of people don't know that the symbolic full moons in movies a lot of times have to do with a nuke. So moon is equal to nuke. So see the 21 in full reduction and reverse full reduction, 21, the 15 full reduction and the 15 reverse full reduction. And that's also 315. 315. See, when Zelensky's killed, that's also confirms when he's killed on that day. 3, right here, 2 plus 1. This one shows what it reduces down to. 2 plus 1 reduces down to 3, and then 15. Or 3-6. See, 3-6. 3-6. See? Okay, and there's also 3-6, and then 3-6 on the Julian is 13 days later, 319. Hopefully that makes sense, because it is. And I'm going to show you one other thing about that. So you don't think that moon equates to nuke at all and is hidden anywhere. I'll show you this. Look at this. Why are these stuff that people wearing shirts and stuff like that? Nuke the moon, nuke the moon, nuke. So what this is saying, people are thinking, okay, this is based on, as far as I can tell, and as far as I've known, is there has been a so-called plan of the government to possibly nuke the moon to see what happens, or they've been doing experiments with nukes on the moon or whatever, and they might do something to the moon or something. There's different things. There's different theories out there. And then people have shirts and different things like this. This is around. Nuke the moon. Nuke them in different ways, okay? So what it's saying when you're doing this, and whatever reason you think that phrase is there for, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, whatever they say the reason is, it's a lie. It's really nuke is the moon. See? Nuke is the moon, and the numerology matches 100%. They're just reverse of each other. It doesn't matter. So nuke is the moon. That's what they're saying. So there's every time you see a full moon or a moon somewhere, there can be referencing to a nuke. And the numerology could be the same. Again, the 2 nukes that are going off when Zelensky's killed, if I didn't cover this yet, which is in my timeline, look at my timeline pinned to the top of comments, on 315, a nuke will go off in Ukraine, and also Zelensky will be killed on that same day. And then on 319, Trump will be killed in Manhattan right here, and a nuke will go off right here in that same day, supposedly killing him in New York. And that's what this movie says. This movie shows a nuke going off in Manhattan. And even Obama said that. No, we're about the Russians. We're about nuke going off Manhattan. That's what he said. He literally said that. So that's predictive programming again. Okay, so if you don't know that, sorry. But okay, back to this scene here, March 12th and 13th and all that. Right here is Psalm 23. And by the way, 23 is hiding something because 2 decompresses into 1 and 1, so that's 113. If you know, some of you know about 311 or 11:3, and wonder what that is. It's not only the first day. 113 is March is the first day, the first month in the Roman calendar. So March, it'd be March 13th. It's also 311. 311 is March 11th on the Julian. And you had 13 days that. It's March 24th on the Gregorian, and that's the tsunamis that hit on 3/24 on the Gregorian. They hit both coasts simultaneously. And that's in my timeline. Check it out. So as I've shared in the past, and I've got more detail right now than I even have in the past, and I redid these. So Psalm 23, there's so much in this. This is showing when the Antichrist is born, when lightning falls from heaven, and lightning from heaven. Jesus said it in Luke 10:18, if you don't know. Jesus said in Luke 10:18, he said, I see Satan as lightning from heaven. And lightning from heaven in Aramaic Hebrew, what Jesus said is Barak Ubama. And that's a coincidence? And Barack Obama is not the Antichrist or Satan. He won't be Satan incarnate. And Jesus said, lightning from heaven, and lightning from heaven in Aramaic Hebrew is Barak Ubama. If you don't think that makes sense, or that's a massive off the charts coincidence, you're not thinking straight. Okay, seriously. I mean, use your brain that God gave you if you don't understand this. So what I did was I highlighted that and made it look like, neon. What this is showing secretly in a couple different ways. One of them here is right here. In red, it's hiding Obama. O, B, A, M, and then connected to this M is an A. And sometimes I have to outline it, show you kind of, to show you what's there. But it's a puzzle. Okay, if you understand visual puzzles at all, sometimes you'll see a visual puzzle that's super basic, like you have a lemon and a key. No, you have a whatever it is. You take a visual thing and another thing, and you make a word out of it or whatever. Okay, so that's how this works. But very intricate. It's trying to hide stuff. Very. It's really trying to hide stuff, and some people can figure it out. But with the eyes been given from the Lord Jesus, that I know personally as my Lord and Savior, my best friend, He shows me stuff about things, like He showed me so many things in iPad Go. So, for example, okay, so that's Obama right here, and then this is a clock. These are clock hands, but this clock hand is turned the opposite direction. Okay, because you got to hide things. When you hide things, you got to understand the psychology of hiding things. You do opposites, backwards, all kinds of stuff, and then you got to understand how you would hide something if you wanted to hide something, or how somebody super smart would hide something if they want to hide something in plain view, that you look at it but you wouldn't see it. So you got to understand that, and so I understand these concepts probably as much or more than most people, more than most people, because Jesus has taught me these things. So these are clock hands, and they're pointing to 3 o'clock. A little bit after 3 is the time in New York time, and then a little bit after a 9 sideways, when this come down, is the time when these things are going to kick off on some of the bigger days. Now watch this. So that's Obama here, okay, and that's a clock a little bit after 3. Okay, now watch. And then I know this is Obama in more ways because this line through the O is how he signs his name. Okay, see the O, because the elite that made him, he's a clone. It has some DNA from the former Queen Elizabeth, who's kind of his mother, but he's a clone. He's a clone of Akhenaten, the Egyptian king. He looks just like him in every way, so many ways. Anyway, and this, unfortunately, is, if you put a line right here, it is something that is not good. Anyway, and that's all for a reason, because it's on the chalkboard behind him when he's so-called sweating, but that's not sweat. It's more white. Anyway, I hope you get my drift, but without me saying it. Anyway, so that line through it is phi. He's the 5. He's the golden mean. He's the golden ratio. They consider him the perfect person. And he's not black and white. He is Syrian. And because Akhenaten was from Assyria, and he came and overthrew one of the kings, the Egyptian kings, and I have found a lot of evidence of that in Christian archaeology and things. So anyway, without getting into all that, okay, so that's 3, and then this is a 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, and then in pink I've shown 3 backwards, 3, 2, M. And by the way, this light here is highlighting just this area. And this area right here, from the blue over, is not highlighted. So it's separating these things out right here, this light right here. And also this light has, right here, this is a gibbous moon. This is a gibbous moon shape that confirms March, the one in purple, 329, or 3-2, and then laying down 9. March 29th, the birth of the Antichrist, on a gibbous, big fat gibbous moon. A waxing gibbous also. Anyway, but we have 323 right here, 323, the birth of the Antichrist, tsunami on the Hawaii side and Pacific side, West Coast. And they have 32M, 32M, and M is the 13th letter, but 1 plus 3 is 4. That's why I didn't put a D, because it got to be other things like Obama and other things. So M becomes, M is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. So that's 323 this way and 324 that way. 323 this way and 32M or 4. 13 becomes 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. The 2 tsunami days, the birth of the Antichrist and his false prophet both come back to life, and most of the world doesn't know yet until 328 and 329. But on 323, that's why it's in the 3 and the 2-3 right here. Lightning falls from heaven, because 323 is on the west coast side, and that's Hawaii, because the Antichrist comes, he's the beast from the sea. Hawaii is in the middle of the sea or the ocean, and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, whatever. And then this purple part is, again, 3, 2, and then 9 laying down, 329. Backwards, 329 is also 923. That's Revelation 12 sign, but this is backwards. That's when the false prophet and his Antichrist actually come into the world, which is 923. That was the Revelation 12 sign, but it's 329 backwards, or 923. Okay. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. This is also hiding Donald, Donald. And that's also hiding 1 right here, Donald, okay? It's also hiding 1 from 3, 6 plus 7. I'm just telling you, you can, if you don't see it, I understand. It's not easy to see, but you have to have spiritual eyes, and you have to have some understanding about how these things work a bit, and have, a deep understanding, probably even a more spiritual understanding of how these things work, and see them with kind of a spiritual sight, I think. Some people see them, to a certain degree, but you have a spiritual inclination to it, I think. And if you don't see it at all, then you have none of that. It's like the Bible says that, you can't share spiritual things with people that are not spiritual, because they're only spiritually discerned. It's hard for people that aren't spiritual to see that, because they're only spiritually discerned. So, but 3, 6 plus 7 is 13. And then that 1 right in front of everything, 1 from 313 is 312. So you have 313, and then you can take away the 1 with rule of Kalel, and then you have 313, or include the 1, and 1 from 313 is 312. And then we have Donald. Did any of you people know that Donald Duck is a symbol for Donald Trumple? Okay, he is. Now watch, I'm going to prove it in a couple different ways. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? This is definitive. If you can't see this, then I don't know what to say. So Donald Duck is hiding upside down and backwards. Let's just flip his head. We're going to flip his head. Donald Trump. And if you don't see how that, I don't know what to say to you. That is Donald Trump. That is Donald Duck. That is Donald Trump. That is Donald Duck. Upside down and backwards, like I said in the beginning of this video. Reverse, backwards, opposites, upside down and backwards. Look at that. Even that little lip thing, his lips are just kind of like that. I mean, his eyes, the way they are, also the hair, of course. I mean, that's Donald Trump. Seriously, if you don't see that, I don't know what to say. Okay, now watch this. Okay. Donald Duck. Donald Duck. Oh, sorry, you didn't. You ducked a little bit. In fact, when I was watching the footage of this, a few people said if Donald ducked, he just ducked at the right time. They literally said, the other people said he moved his head, or even the same people said he moved his head, but some people said he ducked at the right time. Donald ducked at the right time. Do you see the predictive programming? Do you see that at all? Hopefully you do. Donald Duck. Donald Duck. He ducked at the right time. But did he? Is that real? No, it's not real. It's fake. But listen, if you saw this at all and you think it was real, man, you can't see stage stuff at all. You can't discern stuff. It was so hokey fake, I can't even say. It looked so like a movie set, and it was so, the way people acted and stuff, they had some natural people there, but they had some actors there and stuff. It was just, it blew my mind that people believe this. That this guy, and even the idea the guy turned his head exactly in a shot. I mean, just, and he was down hidden so he could do whatever he needed to do with his ear, and then when they were so-called covering him up and everything, and then come up like this. And I showed how this is shown in iPad Goat, and the character that's next to Lily that looks exactly like him, does the same pose and everything, and all that. Anyway, and look, Donald Duck. Oh, Donald Duck. Donald is 313. Oh, look, his license plate all the time was 313, and he's associated with the first day. you'll see he's going to have a big announcement. Again, he had a big announcement on 2/28, which is 13 days earlier than March 13th. 2/28, he said, we're attacking Iran. We're doing it. And there it is, 13 days later from 2/28. It's going to be March 13th. See if he has an announcement. And what happened on 2/28? The sailors, he's a sailor uniform, sailor outfit, went over to attack Iran. The sailors. Oh, there's so much I could get into with the colors and everything else. Oh, my goodness. Gracious. Okay, anyway. And then on March 13th, 2020, again, 2020 is two numbers, 20 and 20. So if you have one stay the same, you make that, keep that a 0, and you have 1 and make that 0 an O, you have 6, 2026, March 13, 2026. Look, the Trump administration declares a nationwide emergency and issues an additional travel ban on non-U.S. citizens traveling from 26 European countries due to COVID-19. And we have 26 as well again. So we have March 13th, 20 hiding 20, and then 0 could be O here, 26. And we have 26 again for the year, March 13th, 26. Okay, and that's and associated with Trumple. See? Donald Duck, 313. Donald Trumple, 313. Donald Duck. And by the way, he was shot. Okay, you ready for this? He was shot on the 13th of July in 2024. Okay? Now listen to this. I'm going to show you how 2024 here in a little bit is upside down and backwards, and it's backwards 2026. 2024 is upside down and backwards 2026. And then also March 17th, just take the 7 as an L, just like I showed an iPad Go, the 7 can be an L. Flip the 317 to 31L, and you have 3112 or 313. Again, 313. Me is Mr. 313, and I have 100 of them, at least. But I'm just going to show you some of these because I got to keep going. Okay, back to this. Okay, so again, if you just, what you just call this is Psalm 23 graffiti. Oh, look, 300. Like in the movie and everything else, which is 366, which is L, and then it's 348, which is 312. That's 312, and that's 3 in the middle of 12. And then what's this? This is 12 o'clock on the clock tower. 12 o'clock on clock tower, oh, is the same. Virtually the exact same, 300, 300, which is 366 and 312, 348, 312, 312. And then we have 3 and 12 backwards, 312 or 3 in the middle of 12, virtually the same. And that's all coincidence? I think not. Again, the flag here, for a second, it becomes a heart shape. Most people don't catch that. I caught it. And there's tons of hearts in iPad Go, and even the Antichrist figure has 3 hearts, heart within a heart within a heart on his chest. And that's all symbolic of Valentine's Day. There's several hearts in iPad Goat. The old woman in the penis tower, and there's a flashing red, like, the red light district is flashing heart and all that stuff. That's all reason for that. It's because it's Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day is 2/14 because 2/14 is hiding what? Watch. 2/14 is hiding. Oh, by the way, American flag ripped apart. It just happens to be 2/14 because that's American flag ripped apart. And then also watch. This is American flag heart. American flag and a heart, or American flag heart. American flag heart is the 14th of February. Again, Valentine's Day is symbolic of a heart. A heart is the symbolism of the numerology. And the numerology is hiding what? Watch. 2, 1, 4. 2, 1, and then 4. Or 2 plus 1 is 3 and 4. 34 or 3, 13. Because 4 is 1 plus 3. 3, 13. See, 3, 12 or 12, 3 and 3, 13. See, that's why the symbolism, and all holidays are just, and all symbols, all things that happen, all the symbols, like a white rabbit, and I mean, all these things, they're all just symbols for the numerology that equals this time. All the holidays, for example, Halloween. Wow. There's so many things. Halloween, what's Halloween? Halloween is, again, Death Day, right? And the first day is the Day of Death, 3/13, and Halloween is what? October 31st. So 31st is backwards 13, and then October is 1, and March is the first month on the Roman calendar. So that's March, and then 31 is 13 backwards. So March 13th, Halloween. See, and I could share a million of these things with you. Okay, and that's March 13th. Okay, watch. Okay, and this is staggering. We have the USS Abraham Lincoln over there, and we had started attacking Iran on 228, which is foreshadowing the first day, 313, the 72nd day of the year. Boom. And then we have then the second aircraft carrier. There's a third one on the way, and I want to get into that right now. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I probably won't. But and then we had the second one to get in there right before this started. It came in right before this happened, right there, and that was the USS Gerald R. Ford, and that's number 78. The day they're both going to get destroyed, and Trump and Obama are going to get killed on the 7th day. And I've said this for years. The first day, 72nd day of the year, 313. The day I've said the presidents and the aircraft carriers that are shown on iPad Go all over the place, including the Abraham Lincoln, showing it sinking and Abraham Lincoln's face on it upside down, all kinds of stuff. 7th day is when the presidents get killed on 319. I said that earlier in this video too. The 78th day of the year, 78. First day, 72. This is all coincidence? Not even close. Look at this. First letter code, MM for M&M's or Mickey Mouse. Whatever. I can't really do it right now, but I can't. My throat's messed up. In fact, I gotta drink some now. I shouldn't even try it. Okay, so that's 1 from 313. 1 from 313 is 312. And then look, 13 plus 13 is 26. The year 26. So when you add those together, you have 312, 313, 26. See, both those together are the year, and then both those together are the day and month, and one from the month and day, which is 312. Hope you're following. You're being programmed, brother. You're being programmed, brother. You're being programmed to his death. He died a little while ago at 71 years old. Even more than that, Hulk Hogan, born August 11, 1953, died July 24th last year, 2025. And watch, you go from when he was born, and I could give you a million celebrities that this is the case, and how it will equal this numerology in some way, one of the days in the timeline, based on who they are and what they did and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of them will be the first day. But watch this. From birth to death, 71 years old, like I showed you, 71 years old, and 348 days, or 71st day of 312. 4 plus 8 is 12. Another massive off-the-charts coincidence? I think not. And then the Pixar thing, A113, and all these Pixar, Disney and Pixar movies, whatever, is A is 1, 2 plus 2 is 2. Wow, 2 plus 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 3. 12th of March. Yeah, it could be other things, but with what I'm saying, it matches 100%. And there's other things. I could show you many other things that show that, including Toy Story, and this equals that as well, and all kinds of stuff. Then we have Palma volcano that went off a few years ago on September 19, 2021. Now, look at my timeline pinned to the top of comments. I have several first day events, including the death of Joe Biden. And I have a lot of things to support that. Now, some of these things may happen, may not happen, but they show the numerology is so strong, and the predictive programming and so many things so strong for the first days. Even these ones right here for both of these days, I'm going to show you. And if this one doesn't happen on this time, I'll be shocked based on what I'm going to show you. And what I'm about to show you is as close as you can get to proving it numerically and symbolically that you can get. And I think I do, but I get pretty close. Get pretty dang close to proving it in front of your face. Now watch this. Okay, so this went off. This is going to go off again on 312 and reported on 313. Now watch. La Palma equals 13th of March. Volcano equals 10-7 or 107, which is backwards, 71. And that's the pre-day and that's first day. These are the 2 days I've been saying forever that this would go off for all kinds of reasons. All the numerology for pre-day and first day. Boom. By the way, my timeline pinned to the top of comments, it has all the first day events and all the other day events. The first day, the pre-day and the first day, the third, fourth, and fifth day, the 7th and 8th day, death of presidents, the tsunami days, 11th and 12th days, the 14th and 15th day, the last day in the post day, nukes going off in 23 cities, and then the first day of the tribulation begins, or TB, tribulation begins on March 28th and 29th, or 923 backwards. Boom. Now watch, from when it erupted last time to the day I say it's going to erupt and reported on March 13th, 1,635 days. See this 3 right here? 3. 1 plus 6 plus 5 is 12. Oh, that's a coincidence. And then when they said it stopped flowing, they said it stopped flowing on Christmas, or December 25th of 2021, and to the day it's going to be reported going off. I just picked it. I could pick 12th as well, but is 3, and then 5 plus 9. See, if I pick 12, it'd be 5, 8, and that still work too, but 5 plus 9 is 14. Okay, but 1 from that is 1 from 314 is 313. 1 from 3, 5 plus 9 is 14. 1 from that is 313. See, 13, even more. Watch this. This is so crazy. If you take 1635, the 1635th prime number, it's 13831. If you go backwards, it's 1 from 3. We're going to skip the 8 for now and then do 13. And now we're going to go to the 8, and 8 is broken up into 2 plus 6, and we literally have 1 from 3/13/26, or March 13th, 2026, and 1 from 3/13/26 is 3/12. Again, we can take the 1 from, because of rule of cloud, we take that way, and it's March 13th, 26, or we can just leave the 1, and 1 from 3/13/26 is 3/12. That's crazy. And even more crazy, this is more insane than that. The 1539th prime is 12,919. Exactly backwards is 9. 19 backwards. 21 backwards. The exact day that it went off in 2021, September 1921. September 19th and year 21. And that's a coinky dink? You think all this is a coincidence? No way. No way. Now, look at this. Okay, when this came out in 2024, December, and by the way, it was in December 24, that's when La Palma stopped going in December 2021. So both are December. It's crazy. And I think this is actually in Norwegian, December, whatever, I don't know. I think, or maybe that's in Spanish, I don't know, but whatever. Maybe, whatever it is. I just picked it because I wanted a different language just for the heck of it. But you can still get La Palma. Okay, so this is crazy. And watch this, okay? So, look, wait, before I say that, I've been predicting this, both sides. Hawaii is ready to break off, and they're going to push it by Russian Belgorod submarine with Poseidon nuclear torpedoes is going to hit the base of the big island of Hawaii, right by the Helena Slump, right in the Helena Slump, and cause the pre-scored section of the island to break off. That's already been fomented for years and ready to break off and fall into the ocean. At the same time, another Russian Belgorod sub is going to be, and this is shown in iPad Go all over the place, subs even hitting the aircraft carriers and also hitting the islands. The Apple splits. On the Apple is both islands of Hawaii and the island of La Palma, and the Apple splits, splitting the island, or the section of the island, and it falls into the ocean. They both are simultaneously happen at the same time, pushed by Russian subs with nuclear torpedoes, the Poseidon torpedoes. The Belgorod was in the latest Mission Impossible movie, proving everything I've been saying about it. Crazy predictive programming and all this stuff. Okay, and so I've been saying this way before this movie came out. And what does this movie talk about? Everything I've been talking about years before it came out. La Palma is a 2024 Norwegian Netflix miniseries about a Norwegian family on vacation in the Canary Islands, one of the islands of La Palma, when a volcanic eruption threatens to trigger a catastrophic tsunami. I've been saying this. I could not believe, well, I could believe it, but I was like, I've been saying this for years, and then they made a movie about intertwining their survival story with scientists trying to warn authorities, inspired by the real Cumbre Vieja volcano, which is what it's really called. A lot of people call it La Palma volcano, but it's not. But I did because that's what everybody calls it right over here. I called it that because that's what everybody calls it. And so that's what most people know it as, and that's the predictive programming. But it's also in the actual name, the Cumbre Vieja volcano. And I'm going to show you in a second here what that is. Watch, I keep going here. Okay, boom. So, and let's go backwards. Norwegian, okay, you can take this apart in all kinds of ways, and it does the same thing. Norwegian miniseries. Norwegian, again, 228, the first day. Miniseries. The first day, 313 was reported that La Palma is going off again. I'm saying is the 72nd day of the year. The difference of 13 days from the Gregorian to the Julian. And then now you put them together and you do, look at this, 2026. And then 1 plus 5 plus 6 is 312 when it actually happens. 312 of 2026 is a Norwegian miniseries. And over here is, look, 227 plus 1 backwards, 227 and 228, the pre-day and the first day. And we have the pre-day and the year. And that's coincidence? I think not. No way is that coincidence, especially with all things I've been saying already. Okay, that's also when the tsunami is going to destroy the East Coast, because that's a result of this eventually happening, according to the public, as far as they know. Okay, so this is also 3, 5 plus 6 is 11, and then 1 from 311 is 310. So 1 from 3, 5 plus 6 is 11, 1 from 311 is 310 and 311. And what's that? Look at that, 310, 311, the 11, the 12 day I've been saying for years. And then you add 13 days to that, and you have the actual tsunami days on the Gregorian of 323, like I showed you in the graffiti, Psalm 23 graffiti, 323 and 324, lightning falling from heaven. And the reason for the tsunamis is because it's water breaking for the birth of the Antichrist, the rebirth of the Antichrist and his false prophet into the world. And then they're finally introduced on the 28th and 29th, which is down here, which I showed earlier, the whole thing. Now watch, they released this 12/12/2024. Now I showed you how I told you how 2024 is upside down and backwards 2026. Now watch. They released this 12th of December 2024. Now I'm going to color code it, turn it upside down and backwards, and you have, in a sense, it's 21, 21, whatever. But backwards, 2 plus 1, see, you still see how that kind of be a 2, but 2 upside down and backwards, because this is 2, especially if you show it digitally, it's correct, but a lot of fonts hide that. I use this font because I like it, but also because it kind of shows this a little bit. This is still a 2, and that's still in a sense a 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, and then we have 12 backwards still, and then 2, 0, 2, and then 6 upside down and backwards. Sorry, 4 upside down and backwards. See how that is a 6? It's hiding a 6. It is. I've shared this in previous videos. Watch my last couple of videos if you haven't. So that's 3 exactly backwards. So the release date of this movie about what's going to happen is predictably programming the day the La Palma is actually going to start going off again. And it's exactly that, upside down and backwards. 12/12/2024 is upside down and backwards. 1 plus 2 is 3. 12 backwards. 2026 backwards. And that's a coincidence? I think not. Mega tsunami is also 12/3, which I showed you is 12/11 and 12/10, because you just split that into 1 and 1. Anyway, that's 3/12 when the La Palma goes off. Again, 12/3. And mega tsunami is also 1/2/3, which is also March, the first month in the Roman, 23rd and 24th, the 23rd. And then see 23rd and March is the third month on the Gregorian and the first month on the Roman. See how it's 1, 2, 3? Okay, boom. Now, also Barack Hussein Obama, who's the Antichrist, is born on 3/2/3. It's Tsunami Day. And also March 16th is the death of, it's his birth to the world. On the Julian, you add 13 days and you get 329. And him and the false prophet of birth to the world. But anyway, 3/2/3 matches that 100%. All his numbers do. And then mega tsunami one more time is 1/2/3 is hiding what? 1/2/3 upside down and backwards. 3 becomes E, and then 2/1. E/2/1 is E is 5. 5 plus 21 is 26. And 3 plus 23 is 26. And so is 3 plus. See, these are incestuous numbers. They produce each other. And they're all over the place. Like I showed you already, there's so many numbers that mean several things. And they just do this on purpose. And that's one of the things I know I'm over the target is because there, for example, every single day is some version of 9/11 also. And I haven't even gotten to that subject. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. Okay. And this is 9/11 because the year is 9/11 because 2/6 is 116 upside down and backwards is 9/11. The year is 9/11 upside down and backwards 226 or 116 upside down and backwards is 9/11. And 9/11 upside down and backwards is 116 and 116 is 26. See, we're the year 9/11. That's why it's happening this year. Woo! Okay. And then so again, 16th of March is when on the Julian you have 13 days. You have 29th of March is when the Obama, the Antichrist, and his false prophet, Pope Francis, are introduced to the world. Man, my throat's getting... Okay, almost done. Getting there. It's taking a while to get there. Okay. And then watch this. Boom. 3/13, okay, the first day, and this is the pre-day, and the first day is the 72nd day of the year, like I've covered a bunch of times already, with 293 days left over. The day with 293 days left over, and the day they're, in a sense, reborn to the world is the 29th of March, 293. What's also crazy about 293? Well, it has to do with birth. Not only is 293, 9 in the middle of 23, the birth of the Antichrist is false prophet. I mean, the birth, Revelation 12 sign about the birth of the Antichrist and the man-child into heaven, which is, it's got a double meaning, but in the Bible it's about the man-child birth into heaven. But we know it's both because Jupiter is the god Jupiter. We know a bunch of things. So, and that's all in their programming. But 293 is also before the Revelation 12 sign because Jupiter entered Virgo on 20th November 2016 and bounced around in Virgo right here like a baby would, bounced around in here, retrograded, okay, for 9 prophetic months, 9 30-day periods plus 23 days or 9/23, and then exit out Virgo 9/9/2017 right here, entered, bounced around, exited between the legs, and the time inside was 293 days, which is a symbol for birth, or 9/23. 293, 293, or 9/23, 9/23. Wait, 9/23 first day of the timeline, 9/23 first day of the tribulation, 9/23 when how long Jupiter was in Virgo. Are you kidding me? Man, my throat's really bothering me now. I'd like me now. Okay, anyway. Cumbre Vieja volcano eruption. I'm going to do first letter code first. CVVE. CVVE. Okay? Or his what's his CV? His curriculum vitae, which is 322. I'm going to get into what 322 is because it's right here. And that's 322225. Okay? Or how about CVN? The aircraft carrier. CVN, whatever. There's so much in this. But what's CVVN? CVVE. 3222225. Now watch. One of these twos is 1 plus 1. So 3 comes down, 2 comes down, 2 is 1 plus 1, and then this 22 and this 5 come down. Now watch. Now I'm going to color code these a little bit different. Make this one green like this is. 321 or 312. 1 plus 2025 is 2026. Or 1 plus 225 is 226. Or 1 plus 5 is 6, and then keep the 2, whatever. Anyway, it ends up having the same numerology of 3/12/2026, and that's the day it's going to erupt. Even more than that, boom. Now watch. Again, like I shared earlier, 0 is hiding O, or it could be just 0, but it's hiding O possibly, and O is 15th letter, or 1 plus 5 is 6. Also, 0 is hiding O, and O can be 15, or 1 from 5 is 4. Like in Roman numerals, 1 from V is 4. Or I from V, or 1 from 5 is 4. It's just like Roman numerals, okay? And Obama is, when he becomes the Antichrist, which is right now, he's 64. Obama is 64. And this is all coincidence. And because O is the only one that's hiding in 0, and it's the numbers. Anyway, no, I don't think so. So that being said, 0 can be O, which is 6 or 4. In this case, we're going to make it 4. 3, 4, 9 right here. And then in this case, we'll make the 0. Most of the time it's 6, but sometimes it's 4. O is 6, so we make it 1, 2, 6. And then 3, 9, 3, we're going to bring that down as in 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. 3, 12. And then 1, 5, O is 1, 5, 6. And then 18, and the 5 plus 4 is 9. We're going to do 18, 9. And then right here, we're going to do 2 is 1 and 1. And then 3, and then 5 plus 8 is 13. So 1 and 1, 3, 13. 1 and 1 is 2 is broke up into 1 and 1, 3, and then 5 plus 8 is 13. Now why? Watch this. This is crazy. Let's go right here. Again, 0 can be O, and O could be 6 or 4. We're making it 4. 3, 4, 9 is hiding 3, 13. 3, 4 plus 9 is 13. We got 3, 13 and 3, 12 right there. And then we have the year. If you add 1 to 3, 12, it's 3, 13, 26. See, this is in between. Or if you go backwards, it's 1 from 3, 13, 26. Right here. And then what's this? 15 plus 6 is 21. That's the year. And what's this? So we broke this up into 2 into 1 and 1 because 1 can add to here. So this is going backwards in a sense. September 18th plus 1. So we're taking this one and putting it over here. September 18th plus 1 is September 19th when La Palma went off the first time. And 21, September 19th, 21. It's all in here. And then now we have 1. This one goes over here because, again, even with Rule of Kalal, we could add 1 to this, and then we could take 1 away from this. So, or any number we want. We could take 1 away from that, and it's still 26. We could take 1 away from that if we want, whatever. But it's all here. So 1 goes over here to make this 919, and then 1 from 313 is 312. So we literally have, watch this, we have 9, 19, 21, and we have 312 and 312 and 313 plus 1, or even taking this one away, 26. So we have that when it went off in 9, 19, 21 hidden. If you just move this 1 over from here, that's it, 1 over, and we have 9, 19, 21, and we have 312 a couple times, and 313, and there's more. We have 9, 3 plus 3 plus 9 plus 3 is 18. Add a 1, and you have 3, 19, 21. If you made these 4s, and made this a 4, then that changes it to 313, 312. So anyway, 919 is in this 21, and 312 and 313, 26 are in this whole thing. It's crazy. Hopefully that made sense. I'll try the best way to explain it. And I'm so tired today, and I had to finish this as quickly as I could to get this out. And now it's the next day, and it's in the morning, and all this stuff. Finishing off with a couple more things. Okay, so in the movie Legend, this is back in 1985, Tom Cruise, I forget her name right now. Anyway, she was in a movie called Life of Chuck recently, which she's much older, and I was kind of shocked to see her. I hadn't seen her in a long time. Anyway, in a mystical forest, bathed in sunlight, the fate of creation hangs in balance. Only when the sinister forces of evil have slain the last unicorn on earth will the wicked lord of darkness, this big devil thing with big horns, have the power to cast the world into endless night with this horrible goblin scouring the virgin land to capture the magnificent creatures. It's up to pure-hearted forest dweller Jack and his beloved princess Lily, like an iPad Go, Lily, to undertake an impossible quest. By the way, Lily is the number for the first day. And Lily represents the first day, dropping the apple, and the apple rolls every day to the 14th and 15th day. To undertake an impossible quest. Together they must defy the abyss, and restore the harmony to the universe, but as they soon realize, the struggle between light and darkness demands sacrifice. Oh, Lord. Can 2 valiant mortals overturn their dark plans and reestablish the eternal balance of the cosmos? He tries to marry her. It's about the marriage of them, and he's trying to stop it, and he's trying to kill the unicorns and get all this power. Anyway, I remember the movie very well when I saw it a long time ago. Boom. I put that in gematria. This whole thing's right here, and it's all right here, okay? And it equals, in English, again, anything at 9 is the same. You can remove any 9. You have, I'm going to just move these over here. 666. Okay, of course, hello, this Satan. Okay, hello. This is from IMDb, and this is not of the devil, or this is not of demons doing this, and this whole thing equals 666. Of course, you got a 9 there, but that's can be taken. This is how they hide stuff, whatever. But it's 666, okay? And then you have, again, get rid of this 9, or you can do 2. 6 plus 1 plus 9 is 16. 216. Obama was born on the 216th day of the year, which is 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Another thing that proves he's the Antichrist. I mean, he has many 666s in his name and all things around his life and all kinds of stuff, more than anybody else by far. 216th day of the year is August 4th, when he was supposedly born. And then this is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 1, 2, 5. 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 1. This is hiding 351. and that's when the Pope was born on December 17th, the 351st day of the year. The Pope Francis was born. Obama was born on the 260th day of the year, and they're both 666 because the Pope is the 266th Pope, which is 2 6s and 1 6, which is 666. So that's Obama, and this is the Pope. And here's, are you ready? Obama and the Pope. Lily in Legend, the movie Legend, is hiding Pope Francis, who's a hermaphrodite. Actually, physically, really, he was born that way, and that's one of the reasons why they picked him, one of the reasons why they pick a pope. And if you want any kind of hint on that, the movie called Conclave hints at that. The new pope was once a female. Look at the movie Conclave about the new pope, and it doesn't say the old pope, it says new pope because it hides it more. But this says the new pope was once female and now is male, so it's something else. Okay, and that is, Lily is Pope Francis, and Obama just happened to be standing in front of the Air Force door and get these big horns. Obama is darkness. And if you see this, you can't see something's going on, and you definitely can't see that. What are the chances of that? They're off the charts. And we have 9/11 here. We have several things right here. It's just crazy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And man, I'm excited about this timeline. I think we're here finally. Again, my best guess though. So we'll see. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. What's going on here? What I have. I could do so many videos on all this stuff and how it lines up with this time. Probably more than any other time. And it's weird to say that because I've had a few like that. But this is even trumps all those. And what I've been getting from the Lord, lining all this stuff with 312 and 313, is just off the charts. And 923, March 29th backwards, which is 923 backwards. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. So I'm going to leave it at that. If I appreciate everybody who's ever supported me, given me prayers, donated to me to help support me and my family, because it's the only way my family eats and we're able to pay rent and all that stuff. I mean, and it's been very much a struggle to even eat, and I have to ask for help here and there. And if you're able to give, I have links in the description box below for PayPal and also Zelle Pay. Through PayPal, you can use a different, you can use a credit card or different things. You can use Venmo and stuff like that. Anyway, if you're able to give, because we need it, but if, I won't need it if this starts. So, but we'll see how it goes. I think this is going to start in a couple days, but, again, it's my best guess. So I'm going to leave it at that. God bless you, man. Do yourself a favor. If you don't know Jesus and this starts, you better get close to him. He is your only chance, because it's going to get crazy and horrible for everyone. Just some people a little bit later than other people, and in the different areas it's going to take a little bit different time. But it's going to be hellish, hell on earth. And it's just going to crescendo from the first day to the last day, and then the tribulation is going to start, which is going to be massive hell on earth. So, if you didn't know that, so just warning you, this is what my commission is by the Lord Jesus, who's my friend and my master, my Lord. Get close to him. If you don't know him, go to him. Get born of God's Spirit with him. In Jesus' name, Father, thank you so much for blessing people, and I'll leave it at that. This is Exalted Lamb 1. God bless you. Over and out.